Hello and welcome everyone to the big puzzle competition. A new season, 1000 euro prize pool, and I am excited. Let's hop into the very first map and let's see what you were given to build with. So you had 1 week to create the best puzzle solution for this track right here and submit your best times, and I have gone through all of them and I will showcase what you guys came up with, and we will see who is the fastest. So this is the track right here. We have a multi-lap start, very important. You start right here and you can then, after getting the 2 diagonal, there are 3 blocked diagonal checkpoints on the sides and the 1 in the back, you can either take the multi-lap as the finish, or you can also take the finish in the middle that is upside down hanging there. Additionally, we have a booster and reactor in the middle as well. First time we are adding reactor to a puzzle. So really looking forward to how this is going to go. I gave you quite a few blocks. I gave you a big platform, or big upper platform. 3 of these, kind of turning platform, upper platforms. Then we also got flat blocks, 2 flat blocks like that. Then also 2 upper blocks. We have some black platform turns. We have a sausage as well, 2 ramps, and these massive things, which I am so excited for because these are insanely useful. It's actually crazy. Like, they look so annoying and hard to deal with, which they probably also are, but they are so often useful when you actually build. That is the track. And I would say before we go into the restarts, I want to show you guys the new system that we are working with now. So, we have changed the system. Before, it was always 1 edition and you had to beat me. Now you do not have to do that anymore. Instead, we are doing a season, and in the season you get points. And after the season, after the 6 maps in the first season here, you can win some prize money. So the top 20 all at least get 1 point, 20th to 11th, and then from 10th onwards in the top 10 you get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points until 4th. Then in the top 3 it jumps up to 10 points for 3rd, 12 points for 2nd, and 15 points for 1st place, which is gonna be very, very exciting, I think. And not only that, of course, it's not only 15 points for the 1st place, but it is also 50 euro prize money for whoever wins each of the editions. And then, of course, you can see on the right side, for the season, 1st place coming home with 300 euros, 2nd place 170, 3rd place 120, 4th place 70 euros, and 5th place 40 euros, of course, sponsored by Big, as we are now heading into a new season. And I would say, without any further ado, let's hop into the very first submission by Deepcode. And he decided, of course, to drive the entire map with only 2 blocks. So we're starting off with a 43-second time. And the thing is, he's not only driving it with 2 blocks only, but he's doing it with the 2 worst blocks, kind of. So there's 3 checkpoints, of course, on the map. He's starting off with some of the harder ones, and now he's just taking the reactor and trying to fly into the other ones. Trying to set up here and fly into the reactor there, respawn again, and now the finish is, interestingly, is above you. And you can actually get there with the correct setup if you fly up here and then upside down into the finish. You know, that finish right there. So that was a Deepcode's submission. The very first one, 43 seconds. Let's take a look at the next one now. The next one, only 3 seconds faster. And it is Yumi. Yumi got a 40-second time doing a press forward, and a very different press forward. First of all, glitching out there to go a bit sideways, then reactor, flight, and where are you going? Going to the outside of the map onto the scenery and then coming back in. That was definitely the most optimal way of getting that checkpoint. Just flying to the outside of the map. Then back into here, difficult turn there, but makes it work into the ring. And now there's still the checkpoint in the back to get, dropping down. And now also with a turtle into the reactor, gets in. Actually pretty nice flip there. Then turn around again with the reactor and into the finish. Honestly, pretty nice. Alright, and the next one is Doomy. The next one, and of course, just like Yumi, also goes for a press forward. We are having 3 troll submissions at the very start, not competing, of course. The reactor making it very interesting for stuff like this. Flying all the way back to the multi-lab, got the checkpoint on the left side. Now back to the start. Into here, and now this is really cool. Grabs the reactor and wall rides through the checkpoint, flip across there, then get to the checkpoint on the side here, and now takes the multi-lap finish actually. The finish in the middle is obviously very hard to get to, so multi-lap finish is a good choice here when you're trying to do a press forward, that's for sure. Let's go to the next one now. The first normal submission. Kind of normal, is by Brecco. It's a 19.7, and let's take a look. So, this is now actually trying to go a little bit faster. We're going to the right with the ramp up to the first checkpoint, then a small staircase up to the middle checkpoint, the sideways checkpoint, then drop down here through the ring, and now he goes into this ramp and reactor onto the roof into the finish. Somehow he makes that work into the finish here. Now, there's one thing that I definitely have to say. It's a pretty stylish solution here with the reactor and flying on the roof into the finish. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you knew that the multi-lap you could also finish in there, because like if he just, you know, like it's the finish is right there. He could have finished in like 14-15 seconds. If he just jumps into that finish there, then it would have been a lot faster. Just saying. Yeah, pretty stylish solution. Alright, next one is Awesome Tom. I wonder if there were probably quite a few people who didn't realize that you could finish in the multi-lap as well. But yeah, we're going to the next one. Awesome Tom, this is now a big improvement, up to 15.0 seconds. Let's take a look. Booster into reactor, wall ride, then grabs the reactor. The reactor, of course, it gives you more acceleration, gives you more speed. Jumps into the last checkpoint with a bug slide, turn around, and into the middle finish. So yeah, this is a bit of a different route. Now he goes to the left first, takes the 2 checkpoints on the side immediately, and then finishes in this one. And then from here it's basically just a straight line to the finish, which is quite nice to drive. That was Awesome Tom's solution. Let's hop into the next one, which is by Mega Atri. Let's take a look at... This one is pretty sick as well. He starts off similar to Awesome Tom going down here, but then takes the reactor up and bug slides through the checkpoint, through the triangle, then down here, grabs the checkpoint, turn around into the ring, and he did know that the multi-lap was a finish. One very important thing that I want to mention here is he does a clip in the start. I can already tell you, already from the start, that clipping in this map was not as useful, and we will see why later. But he does a clip in the start, and the important thing is he found a clip where he doesn't block the multi-lap. Because when you do the traditional clips of like putting blocks into the start block, usually you block the multi-lap, you know? That was my idea with putting multi-lap, that you can't do the start clips. But he found a way around it, like this. So yeah, that was a 14.3 by Mega Atri. Then we're continuing. A drop kick drum is the next one that we're gonna take a look at. A 14.1. And a very different type of solution here. He is actually going for a standing respawn. A standing respawn on the ring. Very interesting, I would say. jumps up here as well with the reactor, and then quick finish into the multi-lap. You can see how quick that can go when you have reactor. Like, reactor into the finish here is super fast. Like, he's going 200, 250 kilometers per hour into the finish, into the multi-lap, which is really, really fast. I do have to say though, like, you respawn here and you lose always a second stationary from respawning, which definitely makes it less viable. I think this might be the only standing respawn solution that we have. But yeah, makes it very difficult. But he tried to make it work, and a decent run to be fair. With a 14.1, we're now going for the sub 14, a 13.999, and it is by a lone drive. I just said that was the only standing respawn. This was also standing respawn. I completely forgot. But a completely different one. So he grabs the reactor here, gets the checkpoint, and now standing respawns. This actually kind of makes sense because you're starting in a downhill, right? So he gets the reactor here, jumps up. The one important thing that I want to mention as well about this jump right here, I made it so on purpose that if you jump up here with the reactor, nothing. So the booster, the reactor, and the ramp are part of the map, right? This is part of the map. But if you jump normal, you will not get enough height to get into the checkpoint. You have to place something to get enough height, because this is obviously much higher up this block. The checkpoint is 3 blocks higher than the ramp. So you need to place something there. But yeah, he grabs the checkpoint then here and just standing respawns. And you start in a downhill, which is pretty nice. Also, nice finish here, placing this ramp inside of the checkpoint and then just going to the finish through the triangle. Pretty nice as well. Next one we have is a Tomek Dot with a 13.5. And we have yet another new route on our hands here. A 13.5, and he actually kind of built scenery, to be honest, looking at this. It looks kind of nice, the map. Jumping up here with the reactor once again to turn around, and then here goes for a wallbang through the checkpoint, into the checkpoint here on the side, and now turning around and into the finish. So this is a little bit different yet again. Not going for a standing respawn. The main difference is that he gets the reactor at the start, gets then the 2 checkpoints here in the middle afterwards. And the important thing is, if you're gonna go for this finish here, you need to gain height. Like, this block is on this side, which is too low. Same with this one. Usually you are too low, so you have to place something here in the ending to gain enough height, which can be quite tricky. He made it work here with the upper, but that made it also so that he couldn't go like as inside as possible, you know? So that the fact that you have to go a wide line there to go up higher is quite important, and we will see that later as well. Now going to the next one, it's by Xelm, a 13.4, another 1/10 of a second faster, and he basically does the other way around on the same ideas as Tomek. Goes outside checkpoint there first of all, then the checkpoint here, and he drives now a right turn instead of a left turn that Tomek did. So basically it's the same kind of idea, and I would like to compare this real quick. If we import the run by Tomek. So first of all, we can see here at the very start, Xelm built something to clip below. He placed a block here to clip lower, and also lands in a ramp, which makes him quite a bit faster there. But then if we take a look in Camp 7 actually, we can see he gets that, is a little bit ahead, jumps up here with the reactor. Now he is going outside though, and he doesn't have a clean landing, so you will lose a little bit to Tomek there. Tomek barely head into the checkpoint, but then we have 2 different lines here. Xelm going high up there a little bit earlier, gets into the checkpoint a bit quicker, and then Tomek coming from the other side. In the end, it's only a 1/10 of a second in between the 2 players. So pretty close stuff between them there, similar ideas. But yeah, let's go to the next one. Synthwave, it is 13.3, and this is a very simple solution, to be honest. He is now not taking the reactor. The previous results always had the reactor. He doesn't. He goes up here to the left, then climb up to the checkpoint, turn around, then uses the same block again that he used for the landing, drops into that checkpoint and into the finish in the middle. So One thing to mention with this is, of course, he's not taking the reactor, which means he's traveling a lot less distance. So for example, if you compare here, like you would have to go all of this way to get one checkpoint, but he could also go this way, just a small detour to the left or to the right, and have one extra checkpoint if you go to the checkpoint. The problem is obviously you are going to be slower if you don't take the booster and the reactor. I put a lot of effort to make this very balanced. So we will see what will be fastest in the end. Is the booster better? Is the reactor better? Which side is better and stuff like that? We will see. One thing I want to mention about this specific route here on the left side, it is very difficult to gain enough height. So you're starting at the bottom here, flat, and you need to gain 3 blocks of height to reach this checkpoint, which can be very difficult with the blocks I gave you. He made it work with the black platform here and then a small hop into the checkpoint, then drops down here into this one, and this one is a little bit closer to the finish as well, which is quite nice with the ramp. We've seen it before. Quite a nice combination there. Next one now, it is Tintin, and he also does something pretty interesting. If we take a look at this now. It's a 13.2, and he is taking the reactor as well, going up, then turning around here, dropping into the checkpoint, and now he goes a little bit earlier up. If we compare this, for example, to Tomic earlier, who did a ramp much later, Tintin is going much earlier here, so he drives up. As I said earlier, you need to gain 1 block of height somewhere, and he managed to build it like this. Quite a difficult thing that I gave you here, but it's quite difficult. Definitely quite difficult. But it's really interesting. How can you improve the entry here into this finish? Like, how do you get the best entry into the finish? It's always very important. Yeah, let's take a look. Because I think, if I remember correctly, the next one immediately shows how you can do that better. It is by a decal now, a 13.1, just a 10th faster. He's going to the right side first, then grabs these 2 checkpoints, then outside through the checkpoint here, very nice, and now he's going up like this. Quite an interesting, similar solution here. They're coming in at the exact same point, but he has a much straighter line for this uphill, as you can see. Like, he's going up here, and he doesn't need to turn as much, whereas from what we saw earlier, you would have to turn like this, like a sharp 180. He only has to turn 90 degrees, which is makes it possible to keep a lot more speed, of course. So that is Decal's solution, 13.1. Moving pretty quick through some of the first solutions that we have here, because next we're still moving along pretty quick. Inari is the next one that we have, a 13.9. Finally, we are at a sub 13. It's a pretty similar route to what we saw earlier. But he is doing a bug slide here, yet again, into the checkpoint with the reactor, pretty clean, turn around here, and now he finds another different way of getting up 1 block. So you really see this theme of people struggling or finding different ways of gaining this 1 block of height in the ending. So he is going from sausage onto the platform uphill and then onto the black platform turn. This is interesting here, by the way, as well, because I was maybe a little bit mean with this ring. The ring is basically on the exact height of a platform. Like, if you place the platform height here, you can imagine this would continue forwards, you would crash into the checkpoint, you know? So a flat block on this height does not fit. So the only way you can go through here is with the black platform or some other ramp. Those are the only things that you can go through on this height with the ring. But yeah, Inari found the way with the black platform, going through and then going into the finish with the 13.9. Pretty nice stuff as well. Was a very mean ring? Yeah, definitely mean ring. Okay, next one is a double globe. Let's take a look. Here we go. It is a 12.8, another 10th of a second faster, and we have a new idea now here. Look at this. He's going to the left as well, but he picked up the booster early. then dropping down here, and then also a clean ending here once again with the ramp. But yeah, a different idea. Instead of going just left flat, completely normal, he's going down, grabs the downhill into the booster, and then gets a little bit more speed that way. The uphill is very scuffed, to be honest, the uphill that he has to do afterwards, but pretty cool stuff here. Dropping down into the downhill, then with the booster. We'll see. Maybe other people will use something like this as well. Often, for a lot of players, I think, when they look at this, when they look at the booster and the reactor, they look at them as a combination, right? Like the booster and reactor, they always come in a pair. But he found out you can only take the booster as well and just completely ignore the reactor. The reactor is in a really bad spot to like go from here into the ring and then around like this. It's pretty tough. It's even worse in this direction. If you want to get this checkpoint, it's even harder. Obviously on purpose as well. I was trying to balance the map out, and I think it turned out very well. It's very hard to tell right now what the best solution will be. Next one we have is Delete Club. It's using the reactor again. He is going to the other side this time though. He's going to the left. Small backside there as well into the landing. Then dropping down a very nice flat line here. Then a drift to the left with the ramp into the finish. Losing a little bit of speed there of course. But still makes it work. But yeah. Quick into the first checkpoint and then just has a reactor here, which makes it so that he can go really fast. This last drift that he has to do here is very hard to do. He didn't have that many blocks available anymore. And another thing is that this border of the ramp is blocking the inside line. So it makes it quite difficult to get a good drift through here. Especially also because I put penalty here. I'm sorry for that. But I had to. For scenery purposes, clearly, only. But yeah, going through here and then with the triangle into the finish. Yet again, a little bit faster. 0.73 by Delete Club. Alright, next one is a first time submission. Cool to see. It's by Dionysos. Dionysos with the first time submission. The point is 71. And he went with something very radical. I like to see this. So, he's going to the left and he's going full penalty uphill. Full penalty all the way up, then through the checkpoint on the outside, drop down and finds the same ramp into the finish. So the thing is with this uphill, right? It's the smoothest uphill that I gave you. It's by far the smoothest. All the other blocks are wonky and difficult to use. They go up too much. They have too much of an uphill or something. This is by far the cleanest, smoothest uphill. But it is penalty, of course, though. That's the thing. It is penalty. So that makes it tricky. But yeah, he still keeps like 100 speeds up there. Goes into the checkpoint here, 120. Dropping down through the checkpoint, through the triangle, and into the finish. Very interesting to see. But yeah, also another thing that I want to mention is here as well. As I mentioned earlier, again, also on this line, the ramp border blocks you a little bit. Like the space that you have here for the landing is really small. You only have the small gap that you can fit through. But it does work. It just makes it a little bit harder. Just have to make it work. Okay, that was Dionysos. Next one is yet again just 200ths of a second faster. And it is Penguin Slide with a 0.69. And let's take a look. He does something interesting yet again. He grabs the reactor first with a wall bang and then goes to the right. Interesting uphill here as well with the black platform. Then tight drift through here and flat finish. There's so many interesting things in this route right here. First of all, remember how I said that it was gonna be very difficult to get from the reactor to this checkpoint? Well, he found a way, and that is the grass uphill. I told you earlier, this grass uphill comes in clutch in so many opportunities because you can just use it in so many different rotations and everything. It's really useful, this block. Of course, with Reactor, having the penalty is not that bad. Like, it's still not the greatest, of course, to drive over penalty, but with Reactor, it's really not as big of an issue. Then this, I think, is really creative, taking this black platform sideways for an uphill. That way he has a little bit of a smoother uphill. Going into here, he still has the reactor as he's getting the checkpoint, which is very important because you need it on the drop down. And then he also finds, as I said earlier, what was going to be very difficult with the platform. This platform, if you would place it here, you crash into the checkpoint. But this uphill platform just barely fits. You just get barely underneath. It's closer than you think because the hitbox of the car is a little bit bigger than it actually looks on the back end. But yeah, it's really, really tight. Gets around, and then, because he's on this height, look at the nice finish he gets. He can go so inside and just straight into it. So pretty cool stuff by a Penguin Slide here. We might see some of those ideas as well later again. Next one we have is Domino Marama. Again, only 200ths of a second faster at such small margins here. And he does a very similar threat to Delete Club earlier. Drops down here, first of all, then with the reactor into the checkpoint, turn around immediately 180, then goes around over Sausage, and then around the checkpoint into the finish. Keeps a little bit more speed at the ending. That is like the main difference here. What makes him go a little bit faster. The ending is a little bit cleaner because he has one extra block. That way he doesn't drive as much over penalty, doesn't have as wide of a line, has a bit more speed onto the ramp. That's the big difference really. And the thing is, he still does go a bit over penalty. You can see here that he does go over penalty, but in this case, maybe not that bad because of because he needs to turn and slow down anyways in that part to get around. All right. Why is there sometimes 2 and sometimes 3 decimals of time? That is because that is what you sent in. And sometimes you have like a 0.210 or something and then it counts away. But that is what you sent in. I made sure that all times where there might be an equal or something to suss out all of those. There will probably be an update to the plugin which will make that easier in the future. Next one though is Neophilis. It is a 12.55 and over a 10th faster. And he is going even more extreme now than the previous one by Domino Marama. He goes outside here, drops down into a ramp, and now super wide line here, gets way more speed into the finish. So here we really see the differences now. Reactor up here through the thing. This is a very interesting transition, to be honest. Goes around and yeah, he gets rid of the penalty. He gets completely rid of the penalty because he has an uphill here. So you see this right here. He's basically getting a small uphill and he doesn't get as much, or he is on a small uphill, so he doesn't get as much penalty as you can see. But the next one is Luboy. Again, only a few hundreds of a second faster and going with a very, very similar route yet again. Goes up here, turning around this way, then dropping down, and very wide setup, uphill block there again, and into the finish. And I think we should compare now with these guys, because they were all so similar in terms of pace. So let's take a look from the point of view of Neophilis first of all. So dropping down here, there's a few different setups. Then they are going left here. Then he is dropping down. And at this point, Neophilis is behind Luboy, Delete Club, and Domino Marama. But he goes a little bit wider, way wider than the others, and gets more speed. Delete Club currently is in first place, but he will get overtaken by everyone else into the finish because they had more speed. So all of them coming up with a very, very similar solution here. But just the small differences in speed and placement of the blocks there making the difference. But yeah, you also see here, Domino clips, right? We saw that earlier, so often people think you have to like clip to gain time or something. He clips here, and because of that, he jumps further, he has more airtime, and he lands with less speed than all the others who didn't clip, which is quite interesting in this case. So you really need to watch out for that it actually is worth it, that it actually gains you something, you know? Because also in that moment where you clip, you do not gain speed, right? You are not accelerating. And the next one, also a first time submission, very nice to see. It is Link trying the puzzle competition for the very first time. 12.27. And let's take a look at this one. It is with the reactor, as we saw previously as well, but now going the other direction again. So he's going to the right here, and really smooth transition there, dropping down, drift through the last turn, and with the ramp into the finish. So I really love this combination right here with the grass hill. I said earlier that it was very powerful. Look at how clean this fits to the checkpoint here and how nice of a downhill you have. Then he also puts the black platform in here for a smooth transition onto the checkpoint, which is really nice. And then around here, he has the similar issue that I talked about previously as well. Ideally, you would turn like super inside here and get into the finish, but that is very difficult without the right blocks. So he has to go wide around here, over the ramp, and then into the finish. But yeah, cool to see Link participate as well for the very first time. And it's probably not the last time we will see his replay, because the next one is Hizix. And he has a clean new route here. So he goes to the right, Reactor, and grabs the checkpoint there from the outside, then into here, into the last checkpoint, drop down, finish. There are so many cool transitions on this one. So much cool stuff. So, first of all, it is only 7,000ths of a second faster than what we saw earlier by Link. 7,000ths of a second with a completely different solution. So he, as we saw previously, does a smooth downhill here, very useful. Grabs the booster Reactor. Now he goes a very long path. He basically does a spiral around the entire track, but he drives on platform here all the way, and it's pretty efficient. Also here at the uphill, he still has Reactor, so the penalty doesn't really cost him that much. Gets the checkpoint barely through the inside, and then this connection here is also really, really nice. Like the ramp with this block just fits perfectly. Gets it down here and then just straight line into the finish. Really nice stuff here by Hizix as well. A 12.27. Nice to see. And we are going ever faster though. Next one is Theolo. Let's take a look. Welcome Raiders there as well. Hello, hello. It is Theolo with just another 300ths of a second improvement. And he is doing it pretty similar to what Link did earlier, but just the other way around at the end. So dropping down here and now going around this side, and then onto the platform uphill, or rather the black platform to platform connection piece, so the small uphill right here. This is a pretty clever solution actually at the very end. Might be a little bit understated because it looks so simple, but normal platform would be at this height, right? So if you would want to go onto it, this pillar is in the way. You would have to go like super wide. But this platform is a little bit lower, so he can go onto it a lot more inside, which is quite nice. Way more insight on that. But yeah, as we saw earlier with the Reactor going down like this, then big drift around here, keeps more speed, and then goes like that into the finish. Does this include mapping or only driving? The only thing that matters in the end is your time, but you first have to build the map. That is what this is, puzzle. You first build the map, and then you drive it. And you need to find like the best map, the best solution, where you can drive the fastest time. That is basically the idea. Next one is Sanchabob. Sanchabob with just another 500ths faster. And this is really creative. Look at this. He goes starting in a sausage and then bugs out of it. Grabs the Reactor here once again. Similar strat to earlier, but now look at this ending. That's really creative. So the ending right here, he is bouncing basically. So he first goes into the sausage here, and now he is bouncing up over the edge of the finish, which is pretty cool. And he's bouncing across the wall right. It's a pretty interesting strat. Also at the very start here, he's bumping into the sausage, and with that has a downhill all the way into the booster. So I would say with these ones as well, pretty close between them. So let's take a look at a comparison. So at the very start, as we can see here, first of all, Sancho Bob is ahead, drops down, but then once he lands on the booster, he lands a little bit late, and with that he gets less speed. So this cool creative idea sadly turned out slower than just doing nothing. Unfortunately, it's a cool idea, but it didn't really work out that well. Then here he goes wider though, and look at the speed that he can come up with now, going way more inside and coming in with the overtake. So also here we can see the difference between Link's approach and the run from the others. So Link will get into the checkpoint earlier than them, 9.8, whereas them getting it at 10.2 and 10.8 respectively. But then he has to go way wider, as you can see here. It's further away from the finish, and then as they cross the finish line, it is Sancho Bob in first, then Theolol, and then Link. Very small margins here. But yeah, let's take a look at the next one now, though. It is Xiarelia. We're coming ever closer to a sub 12 seconds time. Let's see if we will get there. It is 12.1 by Xiarelia. And interesting thing with this one is he does the multi-lap finish again. So we didn't see that for quite a while. Most of the runs we saw previously used the finish, but he's going around here and then just dropping into the finish. So that is a thing that you can do as well, that I think a lot of people forgot about. The multi-lap is a finish. You can finish a track like that. Also really cool that he's going like into the checkpoint and then out again immediately. So he grabs the reactor here, drops down, as we saw previously, but then just grabs the trigger barely on the side like this, and then still has reactor as he's turning around here. So he gets a lot of speed. But yeah, with that, a 12.1. Cool stuff by Xia there. And next one we have is really, really close. It is a 1/10 of a second faster, a 12.034. And he really wanted the reactor on his run. So he grabs it like that, wall right, turn around through the ring, grab the reactor again through the checkpoint, drop down into the finish, and then there. He gets it. A 12.03. What is this route? What are you doing? So this is really cool. I like this. I really love the start, like with the wall ride. Like, if I give you these blocks, these black platform blocks, you wouldn't think of using them as a wall ride, right? You would drive on top of them. But he managed to make it work with the wall ride, gets the reactor twice. He basically has reactor for the entire map with that. Grabs the checkpoint there, barely, dropping down here, and then also into the finish like that. Pretty clean stuff by a very unique solution for sure. Going through the checkpoint kinda twice or with a full 360 like that. Is it enough now? Are we getting the sub? Let's see. It is not enough. It is a 12.019. Now, this player said he would give me a sub if I pronounce his name correctly. So let me try. Kikutyu. It is Kikutyu. At least that's what Google Translate said. So it's a 12.01. Going into the first checkpoint, then around here, then into the platform similar to what we saw earlier, and into the finish. So, very similar to what we saw in previous solutions, but one thing that is very clever here is that he's using the black platforms together, like he conjoined them on this block, kind of one to the right, one to the left, and he basically gets like one more flat block with this, you know? Because he doesn't really get slowed down by the edge. So he managed with this combination to get one extra block. Yeah, probably that wasn't it. No? Fuck. God damn it. Unlucky. Unfortunate. But still a decent run here with this line, with the reactor. Pretty nice stuff. And going around like that into the finish. One thing I want to mention here that I almost forgot about. Why does this matter? Why is it important that he found this block combination here? that he gets one extra block of flat block like this. That is because the blocks are limited, you know. You only have like 2 blocks of this. You only have 2 blocks of this, you know. You need to be careful with where you use them because you do not have enough flat blocks otherwise to complete the track. I was very careful to not give you too many blocks to make the map too simple to solve. So saving blocks is very, very important. Let's take a look now at the next one, which is Nixobi, a first time submission as well, I believe, and it's finally the sub 11.95. We got the sub 12, and here we go. Nixobi with an 11.95 going to the right, a very simple and clean solution. Just drives up there with a small staircase, drop down here and into the multilab. I believe this is also what Margie came up with earlier on stream before she changed her route. We might see her later as well. But yeah, this is basically where that solution would have ended up at. 11.95, yeah, just go to the right, upper like this, very simple. He has to go a little bit outside here, which might lose a little bit of time because he's not going, you know, straight for the checkpoint. He also has a little bit of airtime here. Like, that's like the biggest thing that he loses from like a route standpoint. Otherwise, this transition here, I don't think we have seen it yet. Really, really smooth. Like, look how smooth this lines up with the checkpoint. Absolutely perfect. And then the drop down here into a downhill as well is just really clean. Cool stuff there for sure. Very cool stuff. But that was by Nixobi an 11.95. But the next one is just 1/1000th of a second faster. It is by Mac and Cheese and it's a 949. So let's take a look. Classic dropping down here with the reactor. Then around into the checkpoint, to the left, a bit more efficient here with the drift as well, and finish. So you managed to get rid of the penalty entirely at the end by using these uphill blocks because they're just, you know, a little bit higher than the normal platform, and because of that, he's not driving on this penalty. He gets rid of it entirely, as you can see right there. Another thing that he did that is really, really cool is the uphill here, because I tested this uphill and this exact placement of the grasser, because this would be really useful, right? And it was not possible to get up there, but this part of the grasser that you see right here, that's another different grasser. So for this uphill right here, he uses 2 different grassets. One that is going up here and one that is down here, you know, and it's like going up through this. So it's 2 different grassets mixed together to create like a new uphill line there, basically. Dropping down here through the checkpoint, left around like this, drift into the checkpoint and finish. Just a little bit more efficient than the runs that we saw previously. But there's more stuff coming soon. It is Prilosos with the next one. And this, again, just 1/1000th of a second faster. 2 in a row. Like, that's actually insane. 1/1000th faster, a 948 for Prilosos. And he is going to the left side. All of them did completely different lines. I love it. So he's going to the left, uphill like this with a small staircase, then out there, smooth landing, and then just drive here to the multi-lap finish. So simple. Close enough, we got the sub, let's go. Alright, but yeah, he just goes up like this, really, really nice. Then through the checkpoint, and a lot of people, you know, do the difficult turn and try to get into the finish here. He just says, I would prefer just driving straight and into the finish there. Going into here, into the finish is very difficult, so the straight line, if you have good speed into the multi-lap, can be very good. But yeah, you also just look at this. He's literally building a staircase up here on these blocks, and it's like you need to go 3 steps up. 1, 2, 3, which makes it really tough to build. But he did find a decent one. And there's one more thing. I think he is the first one to find the sausage downhill at the start. So I did check with the blocks that there were not many options where you could displace the car, but the sausage you can place like this and you start on a tiny downhill, which saves like 100th or something, but he did find it. It's 100th, and considering that he beat 2 other players by just 1,000th each, I think it was worth it to find that. The 100th actually mattered. Alright, let's take a look at the next one. It is Neo Taco, and it is just another 700ths of a second, or 600ths of a second faster. It's a 0.87. Let's take a look at this creative start uphill there, going up sideways with the black platform as we saw earlier, then drop down here, and he is going for the finish in the middle yet again. So we see different approaches here every single time. It's quite interesting. Like so many different routes that can get similar times in the end, which is really cool to see. But yeah, I love this uphill here. He just keeps a little bit more speed this way because it's a much smaller uphill. Then he has a lot of speed here already to be able to jump like basically straight, like one jump into the checkpoint, drop down here, and then into the checkpoint. And I would say with these, I would like to see a comparison again between him and Pilosos. And let's take a look in camera 7 here from the start. So at the very start, as we can see, this is the distance between them. So Pilosos is starting on the downhill, and it's like literally 100th of a second maybe, if at all. But it can be very useful. But then here we see the different uphills. Pilosos is ahead right now because he just went flat. But now has less speed than Neo Taco. Neo Taco overtakes into the checkpoint. Different lines there. Pilosos going wide to gather more speed. Comes to the checkpoint, and with the more speed, he's going to the left. Neo Taco is going to the middle, and it's Neo Taco just barely ahead by a few hundredths of a second. Really close stuff between the players. Really cool stuff. Next is Foxilf. Let's take a look at Foxilf. What did he cook? It's an 11.87, just 5,000 of a second faster. Really close stuff. And this one is wicked. You are not ready for this one. This one is insane. Here we go. He starts off clipping through the ground, and then Reactor backside through this checkpoint, holds the backside into the next checkpoint as well, and then finishes back into the multilap. This is crazy. This is a crazy solution. Just backslides through the entire map, basically. Insane stuff here by Foxilf. And the very important stuff as well is he clips at the very start through the ground, but he doesn't block the multilap. He can still finish in it. But yeah, if you place exactly this sausage block here, I didn't find that myself either when testing. You can clip through the ground like this. And you just start on a ramp, which gives you more acceleration immediately. Then he does go for the reactor, has enough speed to jump straight to it with that hill. Then around here with the reactor, he still has some reactor acceleration, and into the multilap. Cool stuff by Foxilf here. Really cool stuff. Next one is Bass, though. We are yet going faster, a 0.86. Let's take a look. Bass starting off also with the reactor into the checkpoint here, normal turnaround, no backside, and then wide setup here, drift around, and now finding a sausage into ramp combination. So this is something new. I talked about that previously, how difficult it was to gain the one block of height here at the end, and he found a solution where he can go tight around the checkpoint and still gain the height on the last block. The thing is with this ramp is perfect here, basically. If you would place this one, this uphill here, for example, this is the other very useful uphill block that I gave you. This one is only up high enough on the side. So if you would place it here, you would only go to like this height, basically. You would not be able to reach the finish. The ramp is the only block that reaches the finish like this, height-wise. But the problem with the ramp is there's a border. There's a border on the ramp, so you can't climb up. But if you place the sausage exactly like this, you can just climb barely over the border. Like the sausage is only here to climb over this border into the ramp, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool solution to that problem there. We might see that again. How is that faster? It is very interesting with the different routes and how much distance you're taking. I took a lot of effort on putting on making all of the routes very similar in in terms of pace, and that's what we're seeing so far. So many different routes, all of them competitive, viable. And the next one is yet another different one by Nebula. He's going to the left with a .85, similar to what we saw earlier, a staircase, 3 blocks up, then around here, keep the speed, drop down into the checkpoint and into the multilab. Pretty simple stuff here, just goes up to the left, simple staircase, uphill like this, finds the nice transition with the black platform, drop down here, he extends the jump a little bit and gets a little bit of a smoother landing with the black platform turn, dropping down and then just nice into the finish, or multilab rather in this case, .85. Just barely faster here by Nebula. Sometimes it's good to keep it simple. And the next one, very, very similar solution, is by our good friend Margie. Margie with a .81, 11.81. We saw her old solution earlier, which was driven by Nixubi as well. That is like 10 positions ago at this point. So this tiny improvement of like 2/10 gained her 10 positions. Let's take a look what she cooked up. So he's going to the left as well, similar to Nebula, then jumping around here into the checkpoint, also finding this, a little bit of a smoother landing in the end, and then earlier jump into the multi-lap as well. Margie submitted in time, no, technically yes, also technically not. She had to send me the replay over Discord, because she messed up the submission, of course. But yeah, it goes to the left here, 3-step uphill, and the very interesting thing about this is she gets a bit of a lower jump here by going to the middle. Like, she jumps to the middle here, uses the very nice transition that we saw previously with the ramp, and then around here into the checkpoint and into the finish. Also here it would be nice to look at a comparison between the two. So let's take a look at the perspective of Margie versus Nebula. So Nebula goes lower at the start, so he is a little bit faster, he's a little bit ahead, but Margie is getting more speed into the checkpoint, now gets a better transition there, and also a better landing into the checkpoint, gets more speed, and overtakes on the line. That's the difference between the two. So Margie going uphill a little bit earlier than Nebula. It's very difficult to tell what is better there. Do you want to do the uphill later, earlier? Really difficult to say. We will see towards the end what will be the best solution there. But for now, we will continue. There is still more to go through. And the next run, unfortunately for Margie, is again 1/1000th of a second. Wait, you can't see that. It's again 1/1000th of a second faster, and 8.814, just 1/1000th. And as usual, he does something completely different. So this is by Ragnar Kishner. He's going to the reactor, dropping down with the drift around here, similar to what we saw earlier with the ramp, and into the finish. So basically a very similar solution to what Bass came up earlier with getting 1 block higher here, but he, instead of using the sausage, used the upper blocks to gain the height. So he's using the upper blocks here to get over the border again. It's the border here is always a problem with these ramps. It's always a problem. But yeah, different start strat as well, going with the reactor, and then I'm not sure if we've seen this before, but he just lands on the grass, you know? I think we have seen it before, but this is a very simple, easy solution. You don't get enough height from the jump normally, so just put a grasser. It's basically the same, you know, height, the same block, or slope, I should say, to the checkpoint. So it's very smooth getting up here with that one. Then just a simple drop down. You have reactor, so it doesn't really matter what you do, because you will accelerate so fast anyways with the reactor. And then into the finish. Okay, next one is Lemon. And he is again yet another 400 faster. Point is 77 by Lemon, and he goes for something different, what I talked about earlier as well. Do you go early? Do you go late? For Lemon, the idea was to go late with the hill. He does the whole jump at the very end, then it turns around here and goes into the finish from the left side. So he found a way with the ramp and the black platform to bounce up and then go into the checkpoint here. Now the thing is, he does have a lot less speed than the others now, but he is going inside through the checkpoint, directly downhill, so he is getting that speed up again, and then around here into the finish from the left side. Most people have gone for the lower distance thread so far of going through here and then into the finish, but that's of course very difficult to drive optimally. So he went around like this and into the finish, getting himself a 77 for Lemon there. Now the next one is Milmy actually. And he found a really cool strat. So, Milmy with a point is 74, 300s faster. And this is super creative. Let's take a look. So he's going to the left early, then going through the checkpoint there, and then grabs the reactor early on the side like that into the last checkpoint, drop down and finish. So this is really cool, because often the problem with this reactor is that you're too low, right? Like the reactor is obviously at the very bottom here, right? So you always have to get it at the bottom. Normally, you would think that. But actually it extends a little bit higher up here. It extends to this height, to the platform height basically. So he can just grab it here on the side, then get a nice uphill with the grass hill. We've seen that previously as well. Also here, using the grass hill again, very useful. It came in so handy for everybody, this grass hill. Hard to use, but very useful. Yeah, cool idea by Milmy here. Really cool stuff. But yeah, with the reactor, manages to find a different route here, getting the 2 side checkpoints first. Quite rare to see this kind of route, but it's nice to see that this is possible as well. Are we in the top 10 yet? Clueless. Next one is Olds are very cool. So this is a point 71. A point is 71 by Olds are cool. I think or are very cool. Sorry, I mispronounced that. It is a point is 71, and he just finds a very simple route here yet again. Goes to the left, then goes inside through the checkpoint, drop down into the checkpoint here on the side, and finish. It's just so simple, right? This one is very simple. He just goes up left side, clean uphill, then go into the checkpoint, inside taking the trigger, and then one thing that he does here as well is he's bouncing into the finish. There were not many blocks that give you a nice bounce into the finish here. Like obviously you want to get it as early as possible. This block is a little bit far away, but he does make it work here for a point 71, beating all the other players before. Nice stuff by Olds are very cool. Alright, and the next one is Bagel. Bagel coming in with a 711. Yet again, just very simple, smooth. We see that these these many different routes are viable. Like he's just going to the right here, doesn't care about the reactor at all. Also doesn't care about the middle finish, just goes into the middle lap. This is so simple, like look at this. Just goes to the right, upper, simple, then upper here, jump into the checkpoint, drop down into the smooth downhill and finish. It's like so extremely simple, but effective, you know, that's the thing. It's just effective. He also gets this entire jump up to the checkpoint with just one block here. Like if you get this checkpoint here, you just need this one block, and it's very smooth, very nice stuff by Bagel. All right. However, yet again, we have seen it multiple times already. Maybe we will see it more times as well. 1,000th of a second faster, we have Kaguya Nikki. 1,000th of a second, 710. And here we see again the two like different dominant strategies at this checkpoint here. And it is going inside, or do you go outside? Because this is really smooth here, what he does. Whereas Bagel from the previous solution went inside and didn't have it as smooth, but of course less distance. Goes drop down here as well, drops into through the checkpoint, into the multi-lap, and finishes. So he gets a lot more speed this way. The start is very similar, almost the same, and then just gets more speed, but has to travel more distance, and it's 1,000th of a second faster. The two routes are super simple, which is crazy. And I would say let's take a look at the comparison. That is a wrong comparison. Wait, what is that comparison? I think I didn't update the comparison. That's from a different edition. Whoops. Wait. Let me just put the correct replay in here. That was from a different competition. It is Bagel versus Kaguya Nikki. So that is. I am blind. Where is? Oh yeah, he named the here the replay a little bit differently. Okay, found it. Here we go. All right. So let's take a look at the two now. Let's take a look at the comparisons. So they're jumping up here, and look at the two different strats here. One is going low, the other one is going high with the jump here. And in the end, it's like literally the same. They're jumping up, and in the checkpoint, they both get it at a 6.9. Then Bake is turning around inside here. As you can see, it's a little bit faster going around. Yeah, he is in front, and he is also lower right now. So he doesn't have to waste airtime going downhill. And he's dropping down. Bake is still ahead. And then coming into the finish with just 1,000th of a second, Kaguya Nikki's ahead. What is this? What is this right here? Both basically the exact same line, and it's just 1,000th of a second separating the two players. Insane. Absolutely insane. But we're not done yet. We are not done yet. Of course, the next one we have is by Joker, an 11.69. And yet again, it is a very clean left side here. Goes up, ramp, platform, lands clean, then drop down inside checkpoint yet again, drop down, and also goes to the multi-lap. So, like, there's so many different lines. Like, we just saw the right side just driving basically the exact same time, and now on the left side basically also getting the exact same time, just 200ths of a second faster for a Joker. Very, very simple solution, but effective. With the ramp, he managed to get 2 blocks of height, which was very good for him there. Very efficient. Next one is Dennis. Point is 66. Just a little bit faster yet again. Also going to the left side. But we are finally finishing in the middle finish again. So he goes up here, simple, effective, goes over the grass hill, and then drop down over the ramp and finish. Finding the same finish as others have previously as well. So yeah, using the grass hits here quite efficiently, dropping down. He doesn't use that much of the grass hits, to be honest. Like he just lands here and then goes into the platform smooth. Then here as well, he takes it for a downhill, which is really not that bad. Like a penalty on a downhill is not costing that much, right? It's on an uphill or on a straight, it's really bad if you spend longer time on it. But on a downhill, you still accelerate decently well. Gets it smooth here, drops down. Here he really has to go far to the left because of the border from the ramp. Yet again, dropping, which makes it very difficult. But yeah, that was the solution by Dennis right here. Point is 66. Was very close for the previous few runs that we have seen. Point 70. Wait, it was a point 74, 71, 71, 71. Then 69, 66, and the next one is a point 57, 1/10 faster by Jozo. Nice to see him participating again. And he is also going for the Reactor. Dropping down here. Now big jump up with the Reactor. Turn around in the checkpoint. Now goes for wall bang. Higher line here through the checkpoint and finish. So this is a different strat here by Jozo that we can see. First of all, massive leap with the Reactor. I think he air brakes a little bit to get more distance out of this Reactor. Lands clean, turn around. Then he uses this giant ass block right here, like the whole grass hill, and he uses it for what? For wall bang. He uses it for wall bang. Definitely very efficient. But then what is really efficient, definitely, is the uphill here. He finds that he can just go up one block early, like this. You know, always they had the problem of going around here, getting up one block there, which was very inefficient. He just goes up early one block, and then manages to drive through the checkpoint with the drift very tight, like this. and then into the finish. I believe he probably only had this ramp left, so he has to avoid the border here as well, yet again. But it was still pretty good with the transitions and everything. Nice run by Joso. All right, and we're not done. We're going faster and faster. It is 300ths of a second for the next one. Alerts are off. Yes, they will be turned off again after the stream. The next one is by Veovis. It is a point of 55. He is going to the right side. Completely ignores the reactor. Then up here over the platform yet again. And then flat finish, as we saw earlier as well, into the finish in the middle. Very, very simple, very efficient. Nice stuff by Veovis. It doesn't seem that fast. It certainly doesn't seem as fast as Joso's, but it's just less distance. The thing is, of course, he's driving a lot slower because he doesn't take the booster and the reactor. But the distance is just way more efficient with this, especially with the ending. Like, there's one nice thing that he found here as well, and it's the sausage. The sausage height of this block right here is exactly in between the black platform height and the platform height right here. So it's a very nice transition piece to go into this last turn with. So that is very nice, very efficient. Like, this is like just so fast getting the checkpoint, this checkpoint last, and then just a flat line into the finish. Just really, really efficient stuff. But not enough yet. We have yet again another 100ths of a second faster iTwitch, and he is going to the left again. The last one was going to the right, now we're going left again. He is going up here through the checkpoint, downhill, and now he's going for a wheelie to go over the penalty. Very simple solution here, just goes for an uphill immediately. Such a weird decision in theory. Like, you do not want to go uphill immediately normally, but he does manage to get a lot of speed for the next two hills that way. And with that, catches up again. Goes into the checkpoint, gets a lot of speed here, and yeah, this really is really cool. He completely ignores the penalty like that, so he keeps a little bit more speed. Also here, I would like to take a look at a comparison between iTwitch and Margie from earlier. Let's take a look here, watching from Margie's perspective. So you can see here, Margie's going wide at the start. It's very similar. Goes to the right here, not as direct into the checkpoint, and you see the difference there. Margie is going to the right and then going up, whereas iTwitch does it kind of in one motion. And with that, a little bit ahead, and then also able to get just more speed across here and into the finish. Nice stuff by iTwitch there. Also, this was at 10 positions again. This difference right here, 10 positions. Insane. Insane how much you guys cooked. I do have to say one thing that I don't think that I've said so far. The maps will increase in difficulty and complexity throughout the event. So this first map is intentionally a little bit more simple and a nice way to get into puzzling and learning how to puzzle. The next maps will get a little bit more complicated throughout, and more things will be possible. Now the next one is Kyle with a point 52. Let's take a look. He's going to the right immediately. No distance wasted here. Goes straight into the first checkpoint. Then uphill here as well into the checkpoint. Interesting solution there with the grass hill and multi-lap finish. So this is really, really cool stuff. The next map will be released on Thursday. No, on Friday, I mean. On Friday. So in 1 week basically. Or less than a week. You will have 1 week again. So every 2 weeks there's a new map coming out for the next 3 months basically. So 6 maps, one map every 2 months, every 2 weeks. But yeah, this is Kyle's solution. Very efficient here with the start. Just goes up, goes pretty slow here, but now this is really cool. Because I talked about earlier how this ramp is perfectly smooth from the platform, right? Like the platform down like this, super smooth, really nice transition, but it doesn't work without this grasser. But he's using the very edge of the grasser. If you place it down like this, like the very edge of it makes it work like this, and that way he has it smooth. Gets a lot of speed that way, dropping down over the sausage and mid-lap finish. Really nice stuff. Very efficient, simple. run here by Kyle. We're getting to pretty damn fast runs here. The next one is, again, only 4 thousandths of a second faster, but we have something new again here. Alex coming in with a 0.51, and he is going for a Reactor wallbang through the checkpoint there. Now has Reactor for that uphill as well there into the checkpoint and finish. So this is a different setup yet again to get the Reactor here early to get then more speed later on. Like he is behind in that checkpoint there, but then he gets more speed and overtakes. We should take a look at a comparison here as well between him and iTwitch. So if we're following here at the start, he is of course going to the right side, goes to the checkpoint and is quite a bit behind. iTwitch already gets the checkpoint now, but look at the speed by Alex and just barely overtaking into the finish. That's the difference. That's the difference all of this makes. Going around here, of course, he's quite a bit behind here. Like, iTwitch has a much more direct line. Is over a block ahead at this point. And going into the checkpoint already gets it now at 6.8 seconds. Whereas Alex gets it at 7.8. But then with the superior speed of the Reactor holding through into the finish, just gets the overtake on the line. Really cool how that just works out. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Alright, that was a 0.51. Now we have a very interesting name yet again. Nice to see him participate every time as well. It is Alcon with a 0.46. He submitted a 0.46 and yet again we have a Reactor route. So he is dropping to the left here. Wait, this is not a Reactor route. That was a... I missed the line. He is taking the Reactor route, but he's using only the boost of it. So he goes drop down here on the downhill, then uphill through the checkpoint with a small hop, then also finds the grass hill for a nice smooth transition and the very efficient finish as well, where he's just flat. So yeah, this is really cool. I love this idea of just taking a little bit off the booster and then jumping sideways through the triangle of the checkpoint. So yeah, that's not a thing that a lot of people did, just taking the booster and ignoring the Reactor. But yeah, also here finding the nice transition with the grass hill on the side, just giving a little bit more space for this drift here. And then also smooth transition here onto the black platform, low line and into the finish. Pretty nice stuff by Alcon. Very creative solution here. But the next one, yet again, is 200ths of a second faster, and this one is very interesting, especially for me, because it is Schuldenberater. Schuldenberater, which basically means debt advisor, with a 0.44, 200ths of a second faster, and is now the comeback of the Reactor route. He's going up here through the checkpoint, turn around, drop down through the checkpoint as well, quick drift here, and then into the finish. We've seen this a few times before already, players were doing this line where they have to gain 1 block of height, but he does it really efficiently here, and especially he has Reactor boosts at this point. He still has Reactor boosts. So really nice stuff by Schuldenberater here. Goes like this, onto the downhill, up with the Reactor boost, through the checkpoint, then also this grass hill, like he just takes the entire grass hill basically as a downhill. Which with the Reactor is really not that bad. Like he still has a lot of speed. Like look at the speed that he has here. It's like 200 speed here as he's dropping down. It's really nice. So that is the run by Schuldenberater. Now the thing is with Schuldenberater is he said that he does not believe a sub 11 is possible. He does not believe that there's a lot more possible on this route. So he said that he is going to give the sub for every single run faster than 11 seconds, if there is one. If there is any run faster than 11 seconds, he will gift 1 sub. If there's no run faster than 11 seconds, I will gift a sub to him, I guess. Which I am taking that deal, and we will see. Maybe he will need a Schuldenberater soon. We'll see. It is At 0.44, we need to go 4/10 of a second faster. Every person who would manage to get a sub 11 would give me 1 sub. So let's see if that is possible. We'll see. We'll see if we can go to sub 11. We'll see. That is a 0.44. The next one is 400 of a second faster already. We're getting closer. We're already getting closer. He's going to the left. Old noob. Let's take a look. Going to the left now goes for a big jump. Right here. Dropping down over the grass yet again, and then simple drift here and into the finish. This looks so simple, but it's just fast. Like, it's just so simple but effective. Like, it really does not look fast. Like, it really doesn't look that fast, but the thing is, the jump is efficient here at the start. He drives on flat. He's not wasting any time going uphill here. He just does one simple jump up. He doesn't really lose that much speed in the air. And then also this downhill here over penalty. Like, you would think you would lose a lot of speed, but downhill on penalty is really not that bad. And then also drift through here into the finish. Pretty effective with a 0.40 by Old Noob here. Very nice stuff. Alright, let's take a look at the next one. It's Lars Nox. Let's take a look. Alright. Here we go. Lars Nox with a 0.36. Another 400ths of a second faster. And now we're going to the right again. Like, I can tell you, like, it's always left, right, left, right, left, right. It's crazy. So he's going to the right, just goes over the uphill as well, but this time uphill and into the finish. What do you mean? What do you mean you're just driving over uphill for over penalty uphill 2 blocks and it's fast? What do you mean this is fast? How in the world? The thing is, the start is really efficient. He just goes to the right, simple uphill here through the triangle, and that is really, really good. And then also downhill here, he goes onto the platform, smooth transition downwards, and the finish is really good, as I said before. This connection piece here is just so efficient through the ring, and then into the finish on the side. It's really, really efficient stuff by Lars Nox here. But yeah, he just like the madman just goes over penalty all the way up. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Just goes over penalty. But yeah, it's efficient. Like you could not get a more efficient distance on the route, I think. I think distance-wise, this is the most efficient you can do on the map. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at the next one. This was Lars Nox. The next one is Quentin. Let's see what Quentin came up with. It is a 0.35. He's going to the left side. Interestingly, Quentin not going for a reactor. And very interesting thing there, he's clipping through the wall in the jump. So what he found out is that if you start the entire map inside of a block here, like this entire giant block here, he's just starting inside of it, right? He is clipping at the very end here, and he's getting a little bit more distance that way in the jump and gets a bit of a better landing. That's what he found out. It doesn't save that much time, but it just gives a bit more, bit of a better landing. Not time-wise, it's not that much better, but it's landing-wise, it's a little bit better for Quentin here. But yeah, pretty simple stuff. Going through here, through the checkpoint, and then into the finish. Also, one thing, he did say that he tried to find something with the reactor, but he did not find anything faster than this. So he tried a reactor route, but he did not find anything better. We'll see if we find more runs with reactor still anymore that are faster than this. So that was the left side, and now, of course, as I said earlier, we're right back to the left side again with a Nofin. Nofin with a 0.34. We're back to the right side. It's always left, right, left, right, left, right. Going up here, uphill, very simple, into the checkpoint, then tight turnaround there, and now he is going back to the multilab again. We are at the multilab once more. Has been neglected for quite a few runs in a row now, but finally it's back. The multilab finish done by a Nofin right here. So he's going really low through that checkpoint that way, and that is quite useful because if you do that other threat of finishing in the middle, you need to kind of stay high here. Like you can only get one block of downhill, whereas here he can generate a little bit more speed with a more efficient downhill like this to get up to more speed for the multi-lap, because you would not get this much speed if you then had to go up again into this finish, right? That would be not efficient. So that way he makes this line work. That was point 34 by no offense, really close here, once as always. But just 300ths of a second faster yet again. Point 31 is kick, TM kick, point 31. But the difference between the two is he's basically doing the same strat, goes up high immediately, finds the same transition here, but he is going for the upper finish. So he is taking the upper finish instead. Nofan took the lower finish, the multi-lap finish. He is taking the upper finish in the end. 300ths of a second difference. Only 300ths. Like, what is faster? What is better? That's like, it's such a hard decision here. He also clips a little bit in the start, which should gain him a little bit. But that's, of course, the thing that you can't do if you go into the multi-lap, you know? Like, if you go into the multi-lap, then this is obviously blocking, right? This is obviously a problem. But yeah, very simple stuff. Just goes up, simple stuff here. This ramp into corner uphill transition, we see it quite often as well. Dropping down here through the checkpoint and simple finish. Very simple stuff, very nice. Let's take a look at the next one. It is Dargen. And this one again, 400ths of a second faster. We're back to the left side again now. We've had 2 runs in a row on the right. Now we're back to the left. He's using the sausage here as a platform, as a flat platform. Really nice stuff. And then jumping over the border into the finish. Actually, really cool to see. He does a few clips here. I will show later. These clips I think are actually slower. In fact, we will see. I don't think he's gaining a lot from those clips because he's not accelerating as he's clipping. Like you can maybe tell a little bit, like he's not accelerating as much because there's no booster that you can get to. The clips are not as useful in this version. But yeah, he's going up like this, uphill. I really love this transition. Like look at how this transition lines up. This is like literally perfect. Okay, I would like to show it a little bit better, but of course he put a wall here. God damn it. But yeah, this is like really smooth stuff onto the sausage. It's very rare to see the sausage used as a straight. Quite rare, but makes it work here. Platform up into this, and also with the checkpoint here at the end, just jumps over. He just jumps over the border. He doesn't care about the border, he just jumps into it. No problem. Has quite low speed then into the finish, but still got a really nice one. Very clean as well, like a nice run as well. At this point, like when it's only a few hundredths of a second making the difference, just your driving on the map itself is really important. It gets more and more important as we go through the replays here. This is something that is quite nice to see. The next submission is by ZachMac. He just started the game playing this for the first time. He asked in Discord before how all of this works and stuff, and he managed to get a really good solution actually. ZachMac with a point 25 goes to the left as well, down here, then with the ramp up onto the grass hill, as we've seen previously as well, dropping down as well, simple drift here, and wall bounce finish. Nice stuff by ZachMac. Point 25, first time submitting here, and he did so many submissions. I think he sent in like 6-7 different runs. He started with like, I don't know, 13 seconds, 12 seconds, and now at the end managed to get an 11.25. Nice stuff by ZachMac. Again, one notable thing is here, he is going completely flat in the start, so gets a lot of speed. And then with the ramp going up here, grass hill again, because you're just turning around, you don't need the speed, really. It's not that bad. Also the same thing with the downhill here. And then here I have to say, I thought this looked really nice, like scenery-wise, right? But it's definitely in the way. This wall is definitely in the way here for him a little bit. Makes the drift a lot harder, but he makes it work. Definitely makes it work. And then into here, and he's going just for a wall bounce. Wall bounce to get quicker into the finish. Cool stuff by ZachMac. First time submission, nice to see. However, the next one, of course, he had a 259, only beaten by a few thousandths of a second, is Camjit. Camjit with a point at 25. Let's take a look. He's going to the rights right now. Slightly new strat there for the upper. Going up into the checkpoint, around like this, and now does a bug slide finish. Look at that. We have not seen this before. This is a really creative solution for that ending. He actually does a bug slide. And I love the blocks that he uses for this. Like, look at the blocks. He is jumping, first of all, wide here. He's trying to stay low, so he's using the black platform downhill. That is very smooth, always. We've seen it a couple of times because of this nice transition out of the checkpoint triangle. But then, this jump here onto the turn, which is perfectly lined up for the bug slide already. And then also this, like, look at how smooth this is. Onto the grass, it's so smooth. Around here, and then bug slide into the finish. Gets it tight as well. Like, so cool. So cool what he came up with here. I love it, honestly. Like, this is really sick. Point 25 by Camjit. Jumping like that into the bug slide. Clean. Really clean stuff. The next one, yet again, 300ths of a second faster. It is really close here, incredibly close between everybody. Just those tiny, tiny differences making a big difference. It is Supernova. Supernova with a point at 21. And he is going left side, of course, again. We are back to the left side, jumping up here with the black platform, drop down, and then drift into the finish with the wall bounce as well. Simple, effective, clean. Point 21. Like, it's just really clean, simple routes could give you very fast runs here on this map. It's just efficient, you know, like nothing special, no bug slides, no reactor, nothing else. It's just simple, effective, clean, nice. But yeah, nice stuff here. Also, he did the ending a little bit different. Most players use the ramp, but because he used this platform here, he could go a bit more inside and he's jumping lower, which in this case might actually be better for this wall bounce because he's hitting the wall bounce a little bit earlier to get into the finish. Definitely something to watch out for. But, of course, we're going faster still. We're coming closer to that sub 11. Are we gonna hit it? We'll see. There's a lot of runs still to go from this to a sub 11 with the pace that we are going at with like 300s, 200s. This one again, 300ths of a second faster, 0.18. Let's take a look. Neither with a 0.18. Also, by the way, of course, if we take a look at this again, I haven't shown this in a while. The point system. Top 20 get 1 point. Do you think we're in the top 20 yet? We'll see. I think the runs look really good already. Very efficient. We have been going for a while. Top 20 gets a point. From top 10 onwards, you get extra points. Let's see. Let's see. Neither with a 0.18. Let's take a look at what he found. And this is crazy. Reactor, zoom into the checkpoint in the back, drop down and multilap. Just as it looked like we always have the same solutions, Nida comes along and finds a reactor zoom. Look at that. We'll see. Honestly, this definitely deserves the top 20 at least, maybe top 10. We'll see. We'll see how far we are so far. Let's see. This is crazy. Crazy solution. Crazy solution by Nida here. 0.18. Reactor comeback in style. I love this. Like, this is so cool. He does like a right, left, and then the blocks that he placed here, like the black platform upper, then these blocks, he's using these to zoom on, right? like he's zooping in the air. Like, he's literally zooping on those. Without those blocks, the zoop would not be as fast. That's crazy. Like, that's such a crazy creative idea. But yeah, he goes down here immediately and then just drifts over the ramp and then into the checkpoint here. Just barely gets it on the side. Very difficult to drive for sure. But yeah, insane stuff. Insane stuff by Nida here. Really cool. Alright, that was Nida's time. Next one, we have another 100th of a second faster. It is Techie. And of course, Techie also went for the reactor. but he went for the normal line that we have seen before. Goes to the checkpoint, clean drift around there, drop down, and then up here, similar line as Jozo, and clean into the finish. So, we see quite a few small optimizations here by Techie's run. Going around like this, drift tight around the checkpoint and into the finish. Really clean stuff. Really clean stuff by a Techie that we can see here. I would like to show a comparison here as well between Techie and Jozo from earlier. So let's take a look at the difference between the two players. Jozo had a 0.57. This is a 0.70 now. So it's 4/10 of a second. And that was 17 positions. Guys, 4/10 is 17 positions. What are you guys doing? How are you cooking this hard? But yeah, first of all, first difference is Techie does a low jump, whereas Jozo did the jump in one go with a higher ramp and is a little bit behind because of that. Then also dropping down here, also still behind. Then goes for the wallbang, interesting threat, catching up a little bit, coming closer and into the finish. So if we compare this, first of all in the start, loses a little bit of time of course. If we line them up here again, that was about 2800s there. Then the drop down, two different threats, Jozo dropping lower, Techie dropping earlier and already aiming for the right side, but then Jozo goes for the wallbang, catching back up, and then the same drift line here with the same blocks going around the drift, and just these small differences made for a change of 17 positions. Insane. Insane. That's absolutely crazy. And now here we go. It is Leo with another improvement, a 0.13. 400s faster than a Techie. And also goes for the left side. Simple line here on the flat. Bounce up over the grass a little bit on the side. Drop down, clean, and into the multilap over the black platform. Really clean stuff by Leo here. Just goes around through the checkpoint. This again, we've seen this grasser used previously to drop down like this, but it's also really useful in this direction, right? Because you just have a little bit more space for this landing, and you can just keep a bit more speed around like this. Drop down, smooth landing over this over the black platform into the finish. Also found a way to start a little bit earlier here with the sausage and the grasser there in the back as well. Nice stuff by Leo. Especially what gains him a lot of time is that he's just flat at the start. Like full flat, gaining a lot of speed here and then doing the jump at the end in one go. Very efficient right there. And we are not done yet though. 200ths of a second faster. We have another first time participant, and it is Brinken. Brinken with a first time participation. It is a 11.11. 115. And he is also going for the reactor, but he found a new line that we haven't seen before. Dropping down here to the right, and he is just doing a wallbang for the last turn. A lot of people are putting a lot of effort into their drifts and getting around clean. He's just wallbanging with the reactor as well, making it very fast into the turn here, and then also simple uphill into the finish. So he can just full speed into this, right? Like this is really fast because he has reactor, so he gets a lot of speed. He is not wasting that speed with the drift. And then around here, the black platform also lining up perfectly here for the upper. Really clean stuff by Brinken. Also smooth at the start with the grasser into the checkpoint. It's just clean, just smooth. Landing in the grasser there as well. Nice stuff by Brinken. Just really, really clean. 0.11. We are getting closer and closer. And the next one is 600ths of a second faster by Josh. Just missing out on the sub 11. We are getting so close. Josh with a left side yet again. Really creative start here. Going up with the black platform. Then jump up onto the grass. Tight turnaround here. Drop down. And then finishing from the left side with a small bug slide. Now I love this combination here at the very end. A lot of people go from this side into the finish. He went from the left side, and he's using the grasser for this. So he's going up like this, and there's barely space with the grasser to fit through. Gets into the finish, and what is cool about this is that this grasser also is here at the very start and barely not messing up the line. Like, he's like really close to the grasser. It just barely fits into the space in between everything. And also then it barely fits here. Like, if it was a little bit bigger, could also block stuff there. It just barely fits on this line. Nice stuff by Josh. Really nice, efficient stuff by him here in 11.05. Let's take a look at the next one though. Is it time? Am I getting the first sub? And it is Tenshi with a 0.97. We have the first sub 11. It was possible. 10.97. Here we go. Sub 11 achieved. There we go. Tenshi with the first run on sub 11, and let's take a look at what she came up with. First, goes to the right, efficient clips there, then up here, not wasting any distance, jumping up to the left, clean transition onto the black platform, finds the flat part there with the black as well, and finish. Really simple stuff, very efficient and simple, as we've seen previously. Nice stuff by Tenshi. Yeah, I really like this line here. First of all, finds the sausage at the start. Then, multiple clips here, clipping through there, clipping through this. Again, you do have less speed here. It saves like 100 or 2 these clips, which is crazy. But it is saving a little bit in this case. And then also here, the black platform making basically a straight line out of these turns. Very, very helpful, because that way she was able to use the small uphill blocks here at the very end, you know? That's a nice thing. Landing here and then able to get a very nice line up for the ending. And also one very important thing is she jumps into this last turn, and because of that, she doesn't have to start like a drift there. So she can land a lot more tilted to the left side and already aimed for the finish. Another interesting thing about this as well is that she is using an uphill into the finish. Tiny details, ladies and gentlemen, but they do matter in the end. It is really close. This uphill right here makes it so that she can go a little bit more inside. If it was flat, she could only go over the corner here, but because it's an uphill, she can go over here already. In the run, it's still a little bit too far to the right, but technically the uphill can be faster that way because you can go more inside. Because you're just a little bit higher up over the border of the finish. Nice stuff by Tenshi. But it is really close here, obviously. It's going further because the next run that we have is an exact tie. I should have really written the 979 there out. He only wrote a 97. I had to check. It's an exact tie. A 979 as well by user 45. Tied on the 1000th. Now I sure hope that this is not in the top 10 and I will have to decide who gets the points or not. So, 0.979 by both players. Let's take a look. What does user do? And of course, he goes the other side, because why wouldn't he? Of course he goes to the left instead. Drops down here into the checkpoint and goes in from the other side. The other side, as always, and it ends up exactly at the same time. Another sub 11 right here. Just efficient, clean, good driving. Gets the downhill there. Again, this flat line here at the start with the bounce. Really efficient for the players. Then drop down here as well. Not wasting any speed, any time. Clean finish. And for this, we definitely have to look at a comparison. Let's take a look between the two. First of all, between Tenshi and user. If we take a look here at the start, they come into the first checkpoint, and it is user a little bit ahead. User gets the checkpoint at 6.5 seconds already, whereas Tenshi gets it at 6.9. but then dropping down. Tenchi, of course, setting up for a very nice finish. Goes around here, lands, and then comes through the finish here. And there is User. User coming from the other side, of course. Just jumping up now. And in the finish line, as we watch them coming in, it is an exact tie. Exact tie between the two players. How are you doing this? How are you doing this? Insane. I do want to check out another comparison here as well between Leo and User as well, because I think this one is also quite interesting. We look at this by Leo's perspective. You see, Leo did not do any clips, and User is doing like 3 or 4, right? So User is ahead there, but Leo has more speed, lands better, and actually coming towards the ending is ahead. Then actually is ahead. So these clips, like these massive clips that they are doing here, like also, by the way, I haven't mentioned this yet, at the start they're using the mountain to clip through, right? Like he's clipping through the mountain here, and then this wall, and then this wall, and then this wall, right? At the end of the day, it really doesn't save that much time because you're not accelerating as you're clipping through, so you're not getting the speed benefit from it, you know? Like, clips really save a lot of time if you're getting like earlier onto a booster or reactor, something that speeds you up or like into a downhill. But here, because you're not getting that speed benefit, it's a little bit of a different thing. Of course, here as well, we can compare with Leo and User. Leo is going for the multi-lap, whereas User going for a very clean line to the right. And it looks like, in this case, the line on the right is faster. Leo only with a 0.13, whereas User was able to get the sub 11. Nice stuff. Very, very nice stuff there. Next one we have. He has been doing so well in all the previous editions. It is Imperator. Imperator with a 10.959. Also just barely managing to get the sub 11. And let's take a look. He is going to the right side here, clipping through, clipping again. Now up through the checkpoint. Clean uphill here, drops down, and it's basically the same solution as Tenchi. Look at this. This is literally the same idea as Tenchi. We need to look at a comparison between them as well. We will do that soon. But first of all, I want to show a comparison between Imperator and Imperator. Because Imperator sent in 2 replays. He managed to improve on the last day by 1/100th of a second. He had a 0.96, now he has a 95. And his other run that he did was, of course, left side. Completely different route. He built 2 routes, one on the left, one on the right, and they're at the exact same time. He goes around here, drops down, he can probably imagine the blocks, goes in, it's the same time. Clearly, right side is faster. Right, left, it's basically the exact same. I think I did a pretty good job of balancing this. I tried hard to balance them well, and I think it worked out really well. Like, holy shit, this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Imperator versus Imperator. Just the exact same time into the finish. Cool stuff. But yeah, 0.95 there, just edging out the other players. At the next run, another 5 thousandths of a second faster by Alec Bees, and he also has the exact same route. He's also going to the right, jump up here through the same block, same blocks here on the staircase as well, through the checkpoint, same blocks here, drop down onto the platform, finish. It's the same thing. They all found the same line and also drove the same time, basically. A 0.97, a 95, and a 95. This is only 5 thousandths of a second faster than Imperator. Let's take a look at the comparison between all of them now. That's... I didn't save, goddammit. Wait a second, that's from a different competition. Didn't save correctly. Give me that is coincidence. That is actually coincidence though. Because I think this was a really natural solution for them, I think. Let me quickly get the replays in. We need Imperator and we also need the run by Tenchi. Let's take a look. Here we go. Skill issue exposed by 200ths of a second. True. Actually true. But yeah, how did you guys do this? So, watching this, they're doing clips here, right? Doing clips, you see different lines, but in the end they come out at the same time. Tenshi's going inside line here, and it actually works out quite well. Then going wide line here, Alec Beast is still on last place, but then landing in the end, gets more speed into the finish, and that's the difference. That is the difference between the three players here. And there was also User in between, by the way. Like, he also tied Tenshi with the exact same time. This is the full distance between them. Insane, insane difference here. They're doing also different clips, different blocks, but it just comes out at the same time here. Just crazy. Different lines there. Alec Beast just managing to get a little bit more speed. It's just crazy. Like, not only did you find basically the same route, but also the same time. Alright, and the next one we have is, yet again, another 0.005 of a second faster. It's a 949. And he is, of course, going to the left. The others were going to the right. The only way to beat them is going to the left, of course. Left is faster, clearly. Going like this with a run by Solbo, 949. Going to the left here, very simple line again. He's only clipping there for the jump. He found just a small jump clip is worth more because you don't get the speed loss from not accelerating, right? Because you're in the air. But yeah, found a nice staircase here, to be honest. Like, he is jumping here up to the right. He doesn't have enough speed to jump up one block in one go. So he has to jump here on the side, first of all. And then up like this. Keeps all of the speed, not having to go over penalty. Then here, clean transition downwards into the downhill. And then also just, this drift is really nice. Like, this drift setup here, keeping or just using all of the available space into the finish and just barely ahead by 0.005 of a second. Yet again, Solbo faster. Really cool stuff. Cool stuff by Solbo. Are we going a little bit faster now? The last ones were only a few thousands. And the answer is yes, we do. Jumper is the next player. And he managed to improve by 0.03 of a second. But what is this? What did Jumper send in? This is the replay. Let's take a look. This is what he sent in. He made a cinematic camera replay and built a full other map with scenery for his route. Like, he built a full different route and map for the route that he came up with. A 0.91 by a Jumper. I can show this, by the way. Like, he literally did scenery on the entire map, like made it look nice, you know, some poles here, grass, a few trees and stuff, looking very nice. Nice stuff by Jumper making the cinema. I can also show now the actual route that he used, how it looks normally. Doesn't look as nice. Maybe I should write down some notes from his scenery. It's this right here. This is his route. So he's going up instantly into an uphill, flat line here, and then ramp into the grass, and then inside checkpoint. Inside through there, through the checkpoint as well, and into the finish. So yeah, a little bit of a different strat here. He's going up high one block earlier than the others. That way he has a flat line here, gets more speed actually for this ramp jump, and then also the inside line through the checkpoint, not wasting any time, also finding the sausage here. Now the thing is, the others were, if you remember, they were jumping from here into the turn. He doesn't jump into it as much, so he can't turn as much as them. He's also still falling, so his ending line has to be a little bit wider by default, kind of. But yeah, this was enough though. 0.91 is enough to go ahead of the other players. Nice stuff by a Jumper. But of course we are not done. It is a 0.8 now for the next one. It is a Nitra. And he is going right side, of course, again. 0.89 by Nitra. Going right side, inside through the checkpoint, through the ring as well, and nice finish. It's very similar to what Jumper came up with this inside line through the checkpoint, just barely ahead going for the sausage there. Like, we are really nearing an optimal solution at this point. They're all basically doing the same thing, on the right side at least. Like, go up here, don't waste any distance, then jump up, go through the checkpoint, either inside line or outside line. Then here gets a nice landing on the sausage, and you need to be flat through the checkpoint into this finish. If you want to be fast, you need to be flat into the finish. Nice stuff by Nitra though. 89, just barely ahead. Nice stuff. Also, yeah, it's really important driving wise as well. Like, these drifts are not easy to optimize. But yeah, nice run there. 0.89. It has been really close for the last ones, but the next run is 500 faster. 500 faster by Matsets. A 0.84. And we're going to the right yet again, but this time outside line through the checkpoint. So he's not going inside, he's going outside one more time. Going around like this. And also on this one, I would like to look at a comparison, because it's a bit hard to see the comparison really between the players here. So let's take a look. This was Matsets versus Alec and also Jumper. I would like to see the comparison here, because they had very similar solutions. So all of them starting on the sausage. Now the thing is, Alec is clipping a lot here, I believe. Has more speed, or is leading because of that, but doesn't have more speed, I should have said. And because of that, the others are actually overtaking. You see how far ahead Matsets is at this point already. And then into the finish. Nice, clean jump. And there they go. So here you can really see the differences. Matsets going high up early, Jumper as well. Alec going later. With that is in the lead temporarily. But the others, as we can see from their perspective, they catch up because they have a flat line here, more speed, and then they catch up. Also Jumper here with the inside line, temporarily in first, but then less speed and a worse angle, gets overtaken by Matsets, but still stays ahead of Alec Really, really close between them. Different lines, but it's really those tiny details that make the difference now here. Now we had a lot of runs that were very similar, right? Like always to the right, left, similar. Onion decided that it was enough. He had enough of always right, left, always the same thing. He is going for the Reactor again. A 0.83, just 100 faster, and he's going up like this. Clean transition with the Reactor, drop down, and back to the multi-lap finish. We have the multi-lap finish again. Haven't seen it in a long time. But yeah, here he's doing this Reactor strat. It's pretty similar to what Nida did earlier. We can look at a comparison between the two as well. Let's take a look at a comparison. Because the first thing is between him and Nida is that Nida doesn't have as smooth of a downhill here. So he's finding himself already behind there. He doesn't have as much speed. And then Nida gets in insane flight here, right? But he just takes so much longer for the flight and then doesn't get as much exit speed. Now with the Reactor flight like this difference between the two is not that much, right? Like these are decent runs, they seem fairly similar. But in the end, this is 13 positions. There are 13 people in between the two in these runs. 13 players, which is just absurd, just absolutely absurd. 13 positions of a difference. Insane between the two. But yeah, Onion with a nice run here. He just lands earlier and he gets a better turn around this. Accelerates earlier with the Reactor and gets more speed that way. Very, very nice stuff by Onion. Finding a route with the Reactor. A lot of people are, I think, scared of that Reactor, and for good reason. But let's see. Ricardo, the next one, with a 0.81. Interestingly, he doesn't go for the Reactor though. Even though he's usually a Reactor expert, he does not go for the Reactor. He's going to the left, uphill immediately, then going flat, into the checkpoint, clean around here, smooth landing there, super clean, and wall bounce finish. A 0.81 by Ricardo. So clean. Just so clean. Already -10. Damn. Yeah, you might need a depth advisor at the end after all. We'll see. Oh, yeah, crazy stuff here. This is just clean. Like a few clips at the start. just drive up. It's just so clean, simple, nice. I love this transition here. Like, this transition with the grassel, it like flattens out here, this grassel, and then perfectly onto the black platform. Chef's kiss. I love this. I love this so much. Like, this is so clean. Then he also lands perfectly in this downhill as well. Gets a nice drift to the right. And then goes for the wall bounce to get more speed through the drift. Like, he keeps more speed through the drift here. And then just crashes, wall bounce, finish. Really sick, clean stuff by Bantori Katru. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's just clean. It's just clean. Yeah, it was probably his best map yet. Maybe most drivable map he's ever built. Alright, and the next one is Rock Skater. Rock Skater with a point is 77. USA represented. Let's take a look at Rock Skater's time. Point is 77. And finally, we're back to the Reactor and back checkpoint again. We haven't had this in a while. He drops down here and he goes for the wallbang. Remember, Brinkin did this a long time ago, but Rock Skater just found a much more efficient setup for this. It's crazy to me that you found a route that is fast with this this line. Absolutely insane. Absolutely sick stuff here. But drops down here at the start. One interesting thing is, he's starting, yet again, inside of a block, but here it is actually quite useful because he's dropping through the floor. So as he's going through this, see how he's dropping down and he's getting earlier into the downhill? That makes it a little bit faster, a few hundredths of a second, which are very valuable at this point. Then drift here, super clean. And the important thing is, you get Reactor. And Reactor lasts for 6 seconds. So he gets the Reactor here. 3.3 seconds in, he gets a Reactor, and now he needs to drive as fast as humanly possible through all of this, land clean here, through the section here, so that once he hits the wall and turns to the right, he still has Reactor as he's accelerating. Like, that's where he's where it runs out. Like, right here it runs out. So he just barely gets the wallbang in time, so that he still gets a little bit of Reactor acceleration after the wallbang, which is really clean, really nice. And also here, I think comparison between this and Brinkin is gonna be very interesting. Wait a second, I didn't set that up. Never mind, not interesting apparently. It's just clean. There's clean stuff by Rock Skater. Didn't set that up. But yeah, nice run here. Clean turn around like this, turn around to the right, wallbang, and then finish. Found the same strats basically. Alright, the next one. It is a nice name to see in Puzzle. Has done really well in the past as well, and nice to see him up here again. Started, I believe, on the last day, but managed to get a really nice solution. 400ths of a second faster it is. The Safe Meister it is. Marius 89 with a point 73. And he is going to the right with a much more efficient setup than we have seen earlier. Goes up like this, then uphill with the grassel, inside line there, small transition onto the platform and finish. Nice stuff here by Marius. Just clean, normal stuff here in the beginning. Very nice drift around there, and also super good drift at the finish here. Like, the drift was really, really nice. One thing that he found, that I don't know if anybody else found, and I don't understand why this even works, he found an extra clip here. Because he's clipping through this wall here, like this wall here. But for some reason, if you place the black platform here as well, it gets rid of this block. Of this wall for some reason. So he also gets a clip here, which teleports him over the penalty, which I guess is a little bit faster. The clips really, I gotta say that again, they only save like 2-300ths, but 2-300ths are quite important in this case. It's only 2-300ths faster, but was very, very nicely executed here by Marius. Let's take a look at the comparison. Marius versus Nitra and a Jumper from earlier. And if we take a look at the comparison here, so Marius is going to the right here early. He clips early, so he's faster at the beginning, but then goes wider with the ramp. catching back up to the others. Now this lower line, you see this lower line, the others are jumping. They are not touching penalty. Oh, that's a nice camera. They are not touching penalty, right? They are just jumping, but Marius goes low, and this low line, even though you're going over penalty, turns out to be faster. He also gets a better drift there, and another really good drift here as well into the finish. Same thing that I also mentioned earlier with Tenshi. He is using the uphill into the finish, which means that he can just go that tiny bit more inside than the other players. The other players have to go a bit wider, as you can see here, because they have to go at this kind of height. Whereas Marius can go a little bit more inside. Where Marius gaining a lot just on driving. Really nice stuff by Marius. Also just, yeah, this drift is really, really clean. Gets a lot of speed through there. A point is 73. Sick run by Marius right there. And the next player that we're gonna look at, I pressed the wrong button there. It is East4. We are getting to the end game now. It is East4. We have another one. Let's take a look at what East4 came up with a point 68, 500ths of a second faster. Marius went to the right, so East4, of course, is going to the left. He is going to the left. Uphill here, goes up one block immediately, then clean landing there. Outside checkpoint, clean landing, finish. Driving wise, this run is just a beautiful execution of this route. The landing here and this ending cannot be understated how clean he's driving this. It's so good. He lands here perfectly flat, first of all. Then through this, look at how close he is to that checkpoint right there. Insane stuff. And then also for the finish, especially for the finish, he is so close to the wall. And also keeping a nice line. He's not losing any speed. He's so close to this wall. Just getting around here. Insane. Like, that alone gains a lot of time. It was hard to do, I imagine. This route is really hard. Like, the 500s that he gained on Marius, that must have been really hard to drive. But he goes for the outside line here. Very interesting going for the outside line. We can look at a comparison here as well between East4 and Vanturicatu from earlier, and we will see that if we take a look at the comparison, East4 is ahead here at the beginning, now also ahead into the checkpoint. Vanturicatu goes more inside though, is temporarily ahead into the checkpoint. East4 lands better though, and now just with a tiny little bit more inside line here through the checkpoint, and then to the side here as well, gets ahead of Vanturicatu. Because Vanturicatu, with his line, with his more difficult setup that he did, he could only go for a wall bounce, right? He's going for a wall bounce. You can see here, they are basically equal, like literally equal at this point. But Vanturicatu has a much worse angle that East4 has for the finish. And in the end, East4 about 1500ths of a second faster. 1500ths of a second faster than East4. Nice stuff. Very, very nice stuff. Alright, let's take a look at the next one. It is a Stratos. Stratos with a point 67. 100th of a second faster somehow than East4. East4 went left, so Stratos is going right, of course. Goes uphill here, then goes over the sausage, really inside line there, also going outside through this, and then the same finish as we've seen previously, flat, clean, inside, nice run. Very nice run by Stratos, point 67. Insane, insane. So yeah, multiple clips here in the start, clipping up here, then over the platform. Now, once again, I love this transition over the sausage, beautifully done. Up here, over the ramp, clean jump by Stratos, also keeping a lot of speed through this, and into the finish. Very, very nice stuff by Stratos. What rank is this? You just gotta wait and find out until we don't have replays left. Because sadly for Stratos, we're not done yet. We're definitely close, but we're not done yet. It is, I can definitely tell you we're in the top 10. If you have not gathered that information yet, we're definitely in the top 10. We had really, really fast runs here. X1 is Smithy. A point is 65 by Smithy. Another 200 faster. And as always, Stratos went right, Smithy is going left. He is going left, flat line here, goes up with the jump, through the checkpoint, tight line, and look at this beautiful line down into the checkpoint and the finish. 0.65 by Smithy. Just beautiful. Look at this downhill at the end. Just clean, nicely driven by Smithy here. Once again, he doesn't clip at all. Like right here at the start, he doesn't clip at all. He's just inside of the block. He doesn't do any kind of clips. Other people do like 4 or 5 clips or something, but he just doesn't clip and is faster until here. Because right there, he clips through the ground and he actually ends up not faster really because of that. He doesn't really gain much distance because of this, but he's getting a smoother transition onto the uphill and keeps more speed in the jump. Like this somehow gives him a smoother transition, which is crazy. Goes up into the checkpoint, tight line around here, and I love using the sausage as a downhill, and then so smooth into here. Nice inside line there as well, and then jump into the finish. A 0.65 by Smithy. Also here, would like to take a look at a comparison between Smithy and Isfo and Stratos, because they were so close to each other. 68, 67, 65. And let's take a look at the 3 drivers here in camera 7. Isfo and Smithy, of course. Isfo, as we can see, he is doing a lot of clips. He's doing like 5 clips in the start. He's clipping so much. He's far ahead at this point. But Smithy is just going flat. He's just going flat, and he is ahead at this point. Jumping up. And he's still ahead than Isfo. The clips, he's doing a lot of clips, but in the end, he didn't get as much speed out of them. Then Stratos, of course, from the other side, getting the checkpoint now, really close. Then Isfo and Smithy going for different setups here. Smithy going inside, Isfo going outside. Isfo with that getting more speed and a better setup for the ending. Smithy is quite a bit ahead here, and then in the finish, Smithy just barely stays ahead. He goes a bit further right. Isfo gets that super inside line. He literally clips the finish. And then on the other side, we also have Stratos coming in at the same time. Like, they all finish at the same time. Like look at this. This is the difference maker between them. Insanely close. Insanely close between them. It was at least insanely close. But then we're not done. Because the next run is another 700ths faster. And it is, interestingly, by a first-time participant. And it's LD. LD, I believe, who has the second most world records in the game right now. It is LD. First time submitting. And he got himself a 0.58. Let's take a look. It's going to the right here, first of all. Then drive up. Very similar to Marius there with the drift. Drop down here and then super clean setup for the ending. Wait. I'm an idiot. That's my run. I forgot I had my run in this. Oops. I played the map myself a little bit. I forgot that I had this in here. I completely forgot. Yeah, I also drove the map a little bit. I got this one here. I got this one. I just played the map for fun a little bit. But this one obviously does not count for the competition. I was like, wow, it's such a clean run. Like I was wondering, my notes didn't line up. What? I wrote something different about this. Because this is LD's run. This is LD's run. Here we go. A 0.58 by LD. Here we go. A 0.58 by LD. Let's take a look. He's going to the left. Very similar line to what Smithy had. Jump up here. Then onto the sausage. Also the same drop down here, but just a little bit more optimized into the finish. We also gotta compare a difference here between them. If we look at a comparison between the two, we can see here Smithy versus LD. They had incredibly similar lines. First of all, LD goes a bit further left than Smithy, goes with the downhill as well. Then small clip there. Very similar here between the two. jumping up. It's so close between them. Like the finest margins making the difference here. Here is a small difference. Smithy goes over a grasser to get this a little bit smoother. Right here you can also see the little bit of green on his skid marks. He's going over the grasser for the transition. AD does not have a transition there, so he's a little bit behind. The penalty was actually faster there, but then in the drop down gets a better drift, turn around here, and just extremely aggressive into the finish. You can't really tell with that camera, but if we take a look in free cam at the two players, it is just LD barely in front of Smithy into the finish. Really, really close stuff between the two. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the normal solutions. Because the next run that we have from a point 58 is the biggest time jump that we've had since 75 positions ago. 75 positions ago was this kind of time jump. That was at 14 seconds. And it is Shorty with a point 31. And I can tell you, he broke my map. He broke the map. He got a point 31. Over 0.3 of a second faster than LD. And this literally is the biggest jump. The last time we've had a jump like that was at 14 seconds, 75 positions ago. You know what that means? Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And let's take a look at Shorty. This solution here is quite different. And you will see soon why. He found something, and he's the only one who found this. Let's take a look. So, goes left side, uses the sausage as the flat line here, jumps up through the checkpoint, drop down, and then finish. What did he do to my map? He found a bug finish. Now the thing that Shorty does is he doesn't do any clips here in the start. He doesn't do anything like that. What he found out is that he can place the entire map with the given blocks inside of the blocks area, and that means that he can delay the clip all the way until the finish. Like right here. The clip, everybody does it always like at the start of the map, right? He does it right there. The only one that he does it here. And not only that, he does need this grass hill as well. This grass hill, without this grass hill that he plays exactly here, this small uphill from the grass hill, this bug finish doesn't work. So he needs this grass hill as well, because otherwise he doesn't get enough height into the bug finish because it's a little bit higher up, right? And the grass hill, if he plays it like this, he can just barely fit the map into it as well. Otherwise it wouldn't fit. Then also here, like I tried this in the editor multiple times, and I thought this was impossible. I thought doing something like this would be impossible. I tried not to prevent it, but Shorty still found a way to do it. He doesn't have a single block to spare. I can tell you as well, I tried building the same thing after I found out about this. I tried building the same thing on the right side. Doesn't work. You don't have enough blocks. You do not have enough blocks to do this on the right side. It's only barely possible on the left. Insane that Shorty found this, and he's the only one to find this as well. But the even crazier thing is, he needs to use multiple blocks. Like he needs to use like this block here, this block here. He can't use the grass hits and stuff like that. He needs to use these inefficiently throughout the map. But still, even then, he still has this insanely good route. Because if we compare Shorty against LD, for example, we can see that it's basically the same route. He's just a little bit ahead right here, LD into the finish. Actually, Shorty is ahead into the finish. But then, of course, here you can see the difference. This is the difference maker. He just clips in, and he's instantly in the finish. He is just instantly in the finish like that. Also very creative to use the sausages here as the flat blocks as well. Most players didn't use those. Another crazy thing is here, he had to have a block here. He needed to place a block in this position because this block here is block mix, so he had to have another block here to stay inside of the of the blocks, basically, to not get out of it, to not clip out, because otherwise there would be a wall here just like this. So he had to place another block here, and the crazy thing is, this block that he clips through actually gives him a flatter line. Like, he just gets a flatter, better transition here, somehow. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Like, Shorty just completely destroyed my map. And in the end, for him, it turned out that left side was faster. But of course, if there's one thing that Shorty is known for, and that is, as we can see from his skin as well, it is getting second. Because in the first edition of the big puzzle competition, of course, Shorty gets second place. It was only enough for the second place because, as always, he finds a way every time. It is David H with just 0.03 of a second faster. And it's a completely different route. He also broke my map, but in a different way. Let's take a look. So, he starts off going to the right around the pillar, booster, reactor, yeet up to the checkpoint, through the other checkpoint, and finish in the multi-lap. When was the last time that we've seen a finish in the multi-lap? He actually found the reactor yeet, and to just go 0.03 of a second faster than Shorty. Insane stuff. Insane stuff. It was actually possible. The reactor in the end was faster, but by only 0.03 of a second. Technically, this is still left side, so left side is faster, technically. Oh, but yeah, nice stuff here by David H. This is not the only thing that he does. First of all, of course, he gets so much speed with this reactor, right? Like, he jumps up there, flies through the air, and then goes around the checkpoint. I love this transition. Nobody else did this transition because it would never be worth it going with the ramp around like this into the checkpoint. That like made no sense. You can't do it from this side. You can only do it from this side here. So it's crazy that he managed to make that work. Then drop down here, also super smooth landing into this ramp, which we also never saw anybody else do, and then just finish in the multi-lap. And also the crazy thing with this is as well, he does clips at the start, but he still left the space open to finish in the multi-lap. Like, he does clips here, he clips through this, but he still left space to go into the finish. Insane stuff here. And another crazy thing is, he was the only person to find an offset at the start. So, you know, right, this box right here, this is where you start normally, right? He found out that if you place this giant ass wall of the grass hill, you can actually start at an offset and start earlier. And not only that, if you start with this offset, you can also start in this black platform here, in this wall right block, because normally if you start here, one wheel is stuck. I made sure that you couldn't clip through this block, because that would be very OP, right? You wouldn't want to clip through this block. That is so OP, you don't want that. I made sure that it wouldn't be possible. But of course, because he places this wall, he starts further up, so he starts inside of it, so he does still get a clip here, then another clip through this block as well, because he found another grass hill. Insane. We need to watch a comparison immediately between the two as well, between Shorty and David. Let's just take a look. So at the start, David goes to the right side, drops down here into the booster from the side as well, like going from the side of the booster into this. We've also never seen that. Now here, they meet in the checkpoint. David H flies through the checkpoint and into checkpoint 2. It's behind. Shorty is ahead. Still ahead, but now as he drops down, David H with the superior speed goes through the checkpoint and goes into the finish with a .28. Just barely ahead of a Shorty right here. Goes through the finish exactly in that moment. There they are. Like, this is the difference between them. David H there and then Shorty right here. That's the finish. GG. David H winning. Shorty takes second place. GG. That is the the result of the first puzzle edition of the new season. Hope you enjoyed. Here's the full results now as well. That was the scene that I didn't want to show earlier. It is David H winning, then Shorty on second place, LD on third, then Smithy takes fourth place, Stratos on fifth, Isfo on sixth, Marius takes a seventh place, a decent 5 points with that as well. Rockskater on 8th, Vantrikatu on 9th, and Onion on 10th. Then, of course, to round up the top 20, everybody who gets at least 1 point, it is Matsats with 1 point, Nitra, then also Jumper with 1 point, Sobo with another point, Alec Bees as well, Imperator, User 45, Tenshi, Josh, and Brinken, the last player to get 1 point. Then the 2 players who barely missed it were, of course, Leo, with just missing by 200ths of a second on 21st place, and Techie with 500ths of a second on the 22nd. Before we end, I still want to show you a comparison of the full top 20 as well. I think this should be really interesting here. So let's take a look at this. I have prepared a replay where we can see all the top 20 replays in one go. So here they are. Of course, David H, very easy to spot. He's the literally only person who found the start trick, as always. There was 84 submissions, by the way. 84 submissions. David H, the only person who found this. The next map will start in basically 1 week on Friday. It will be a different kind of map again, for sure. You can be looking forward to a different type of map. I will probably make it so that there will be a bit bigger time gaps again, because you guys cooked. You guys cooked, absolutely. We'll see. I will try my best. I hope this one was interesting. I think balance-wise, this map was really interesting. You see multiple players here clipping as well. It's kind of funny to see all of the clips slowly. But then there's other people, like Shorty, for example, not clipping at all. He's like in a decent position, right? Then here we have on the left, we have Isfo, Vantrikatu, and Josh going up 1 block. Then Smithy, User 45, LD, Shorty, and Sobo staying on the flat. We have Brinken and Rockskater going for the Reactor straight. Then Onion and David both going for a Reactor flight. Then we have Jumper, Matsats, and Stratos going for the left line immediately uphill to the checkpoint. And then we have Nitra, Tenshi, Imperator, and Alec Bees going for the direct line, and Marius going with the ramp. If we go a little bit further ahead now, we can see how they line up again. They get closer here into this. Then going up here, we see here Brinken and Rockskater already in the first checkpoint for them with the Reactor. Then here, all of them just lining up perfectly again. Tenshi, Alec B, Stratos, Jumper, Imperator, Matsats, Nitra, and Marius. All of them super close. Marius in this case having the most speed out of all of them, so we'll be catching up. Then we have, of course, David H and Onion flying in the distance. With them we have Sobu a little bit higher up here already, Josh, Vantrikatu, Shorty, Isfo, LD, Smithy, and a User 45 going uphill now into the checkpoint. This is where they all converge once again. We see that the left side is a little bit quicker into the first checkpoint. As they get the checkpoint here, they are super close though. Then the other side coming in. David H is still behind at this point, same with Onion with the Reactors, but they will be catching up soon. In the meantime, Rockskater and Brinken already got their second checkpoint. They are dropping down now. Then into the checkpoint, David H is the fastest here. Then we have Smithy and LD on the left side. User 45, Vantrikatu also coming in with smoother landings. Isfo and Shorty both going in for a jump, and then Josh, Sobu, and Onion a little bit further behind. On the other side we have Marius, Nitra, and Jumper going inside, by the way, whereas Stratos, Matsats, Tenshi, Imperator, and Alec Bees all went outside. Then they come back in here. They converge back at this point. Here we see Rockskater and Brinken again, by the way. They actually get the checkpoint earlier than all of them. At the end here, but they have to climb 1 block into the finish. Then on the other side, of course, David H doing something completely different than everyone else. Here we see the others converge, and again, Shorty basically did not use any clips, and he barely had any blocks remaining, and he still managed to be ahead of all of the other ones. Even with his limited blocks set. Very impressive stuff. We see here the different lines coming in now. LD and Smithy ahead. Shorty clips in now, just as David H has already finished on the left side. Shorty clips in right there. You see the difference now as he's in front with that. If we go like this now, I think it's a bit easier to see. We have the next person, LD, finishing. Then we have Smithy as the next person. Then the next one is Stratos and Isfo basically finishing at the very same time. Then we have Marius, Rock Skater coming from the left side into the finish. We have Vanturikatu coming up from above from a different line again. Then we have Mad Sets as well, almost with the same time. Nitra, Jumper, Imperator, Tenchi, Alec B, super close as well. Then we also have User 45, Josh, and Brinken as well here. In the meantime, also Onion finished, of course, in the other finish. As they were finishing here, he was finishing on the other side. Insane stuff between all the players here, and I'm really happy. Like, look at the difference here, like so many different routes. Actually, I think the balance between the different routes was really good in this case. Next edition, I think I will give you a few more interesting blocks to work with, but I think the balance between the routes was really good. I'm very happy with this. I made sure when I was building this, I made sure that every route was able to get like 11.3. That was like my benchmark. 11.3, 11.4. There's other routes as well that can do this as well that we don't see in the top 20, of course, because for the top 20 you needed an 11.11, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. So how many was it? It was 18, Schuldenberater. 18. As your Schuldenberater, you're in trouble. Alright, but yeah, there you go. 84 submissions total, 83 I believe exactly, actually. But yeah, that is the solution, that is the end of it. Here we can once again see the positions. David H, first place, then Shorty on second, AD on third, Smithy on fourth, Stratos, Isfo, Marius, Rockskater, Vantricatu, and Onion. And thank you very much for the alerts there as well. Appreciate it. That was it for Big Puzzle Competition edition number 1. We are starting a season now. I hope to see you in 2 weeks again for the next map. Gonna be very fun. We'll see who will be leading the championship after that one. 1,000 euro to play for, of course, sponsored by Big. So hope to see you there. Maybe also participating next time. Definitely still possible to catch up to the others. Also, by the way, 50 euro going to David H, of course, for winning today as well. All right, that's it. GG. Thanks for watching. Take care.